Let me take you on a vacation. Close your eyes. Close them. Relax. Imagine a place where you can forget your worries, where people care about you, helping and fulfilling your wishes you don't even know you had. Pictured it? Then welcome to Yunohana Spring. The MC Yunoha, who initially left her rural hometown to study fashion design in Tokyo, has been called back home as her mother is ill and she is to tend to the family inn for the next 3 months until her mother recovers. And with this basic setup, the game transports you into the relaxed world of Japanese inns. In the long common route, divided into 4 chapters, accompanied by character scenes, depending on the LI you choose to pursue, you tend to different customers in each chapter and help them solve their little problems. These are little but still cute and emotional slice of life stories, like a girl who lost the picture of her lover, or a boy who doesn't feel loved by his parents. And the 4 characters you can romance while you work at the inn are Naomasa, the clumsy new staff member who somehow ended up working at the ryoukan because he couldn't pay his bills. He immediately spots Yunoha's handmade apron as he's also into needlework and also seems to have a reason why he doesn't want to return home. Naomasa is supposed to be a cute and shy character, but in his character route he gets surprisingly proactive, and of course you discover why he chose to work at the ryoukan. I first even thought his route might get angsty, but not at all. Though he had small problems, it's nothing to the level of angst, but rather family quarrels everyone knows. But him turning from shy into proactive, both traits very well voiced by the same voice actor as Toda in Clock Zero or Tyrell in Even if Tempest, made his route the most romantic for me. Kota is the assistant cook of the ryokan. Though he has a kind heart, picking up a stray dog and always cooking delicious meals for that dog, he tends to scare animals and children due to his tall build and stern face. He has a soft, apologetic and calm nature, and doesn't talk too much. With his biggest passion being cooking, his dream is to make even more people smile with his dishes. So Yunoha and Kota connect about having big dreams for the future and cheer each other on. The only problem is that love doesn't fit into Kota's plan. But I loved Kota from the second I saw him. With his kind heart who tends to be misunderstood, he seems like a puppy dog himself and has so many cute scenes. Not being a man of many words, he tends to be straightforward, sincere and honest when the situation calls for it. And thus his bluntness, combined with his deep voice, who also voiced Kent in Amnesia or Shuya in Clock Zero, earns him my most sexy award. Though the game was fluffy and innocent overall, he still made me swoon the most. Izumi actually works at the rivaling inn, but somehow has the habit to suddenly pop into conversations at our inn and act all friendly with everybody. He's the kind of flirt character who always seems to have sparkles around his bright smile. First impression isn't too good though, as he shamelessly flirts with Yunoha, bad-mouthing her in, not knowing she's the new chef of it, but later promises to bring her sweets to apologize and for relaxation. Though he is an immensely noisy flirt, you immediately notice he's also a good guy who just wants to be part of this group of friends. And I loved his bright, funny and bubbly personality that was superbly conveyed with voice acting similar to his role as Nicola in Pure Fjorde, and he never failed to make me laugh. But the character route showed me again. A flirt character is never what you expect him to be. And this twist made the story most interesting for me, and almost plot-driven. Kintaro is Yunoha's good childhood friend and generally recommended to play last because of a spoiler in his route, but I think this spoiler is so obvious from the beginning of the game on that it doesn't really matter, except for the fact that he also unlocks the secret character, who I also liked a lot. Kintaro has been working at the ryokan for a long time, is hardworking and fully devoted to the success and good reputation of the inn. Growing up together and having spent a lot of time together, Kinchan and Yunoha tend to think alike a lot, can read each other's thoughts like it's written on their faces. This makes for a really sweet and familiar dynamic between them. If Kinchan wasn't so reluctant to finally accept that he's in love with her, he needs a lot of pushes from the others to finally admit it. Being the funny childhood friend, voiced by the same voice actor as Limbo in Busterfellows or Totomaru in Kenkabancho Otome, his route was very entertaining and had a lot of blushy moments where neither of them two wanted to admit they actually like each other. I think what stands out most about the game is the breathtakingly beautiful art by the artist Didi, who also drew for Pure Fjorde and Binary Star. Be it the beautiful shades of pastel pink, the dynamic CGs, or beautiful details in every scene like little emotion bubbles or exaggerated emotions. She's my favorite artist, I think, and made every of the many CGs such a pure joy. But also the music fitted the calm and relaxed tone of the game so that you could immediately feel at ease as soon as you booted up the game. Even the background art looks beautiful and almost therapeutically calm. So every bit of this game conveys feelings of happiness, relaxation, hospitality, and taking a break from your stressful everyday life. That means the tone of the game might best be described as calm and fluffy. Being set in a traditional Japanese inn and the common route consisting of you attending to customers and helping them with their little problems gives the game undeniably a slice of life feeling. Though there are no stakes whatsoever to the story, these little episodes about the customers' problems feel very warm and wholesome, like helping a boy conveying his feelings to his parents. This is of little consequence for anyone but the family, but still you kind of feel like you did something good today. And I think wholesome is really the best word to describe the game overall, because of course there are like little problems in the character routes, but nothing major really happens. And for the main time of the game, everyone is happy. The romance as well feels very innocent and fluffy. The common route isn't too romantic, but the character routes are full of CGs and the most romantic scenes of otome history. You know, with all the good stuff, going on dates, eating ice cream together, feeding each other, falling on top of each other, everything. Considering the C.B, meaning ages 12 and up ranking, you still feel lucky when you get a kiss, but every character has a kiss CG, no worries there. But still, all the scenes were so romantic they made me squeal every time, especially those of the awkward kota. That being said, I can also see why you would say the common route is boring, because it's not very romantic and like, why should you care about that boy's troubles? And I think I might have also felt frustrated about that if the language wasn't easy enough for me to just read the common route at a quicker pace. Because overall I would say the game is suited for an upper beginner level. It doesn't overuse kanji, it has a lot of everyday talk. What makes it tricky though is the very specific ryoukan or traditional Japanese vocabulary. Like when in Kota's route he starts talking about dishes or vegetables I've never ever heard of. But the reason why I think this is not too big of a problem is that you won't miss out on much if you don't fully understand these sentences. You will quickly get a hang of the most used ryoukan specific words, and then don't really need to know which exact vegetables Kota is using, do you? As there is no real story, you can't really miss out on anything, but still are able to enjoy the character interactions. But still I know that some people in my Discord find it a bit difficult for beginners. Yet I would still recommend it, as long as you're willing to look up some of these specific vocabulary words. And then you can also ask us in the Discord if you need some translation help or need to know what's going on. So though there are easier games for beginners, I think this game is suited for upper beginners, and I remember being able to play it like 1 year ago already, when I was about an upper beginner, lower intermediate stage. Another argument why I would say this game is suited for beginners is that the story is kind of told in small episodes, so you can take breaks after each little story segment, and overall the game is more on the shorter side. As I said, the common route has 4 chapters, and I think you can play one chapter in about 2 hours, and then each character route only has 3 chapters, which can be played in 1 hour each. I haven't played too much of the FD because I was basically looking for sugar content, but didn't find a lot of it. Coming from the original game I perceived as very romantic, I expected the FD to up the romance little even more, but I can't say it had a lot of sugar content. The FD consists out of the after stories, an if story, where practically the story of the main game is reset, and you play another chapter of the common route, this time tending to an annoying spoiled idol, while you have a very light love development with the LI you choose, including a new other childhood friend who you miraculously forgot about, and another story where just everyone has fun at the beach and you again can choose to get a bit closer to one of the LIs, but not to an extent it could be called romance. And in these alternative stories you can also choose to romance 2 additional characters, Kintaro's little brother, yes he's 12, or Izumi's older brother with a similar age gap, but now he's much older than you. Both romances are very light, but still kind of there. I started with the after stories because that's the part I most look forward in an FD. They all start with the LI summoning up what happened in the original game from their point of view, what is cute. But sadly, the sugar content wasn't very high, and the only route I really enjoyed was, again, Kota's route, as you finally get to meet one of his sisters. In all routes, small obstacles come in the way, but they didn't feel meaningful or had a strong impact on the relationship, in my opinion. All couples decided to treasure each other in the end and share their problems with each other. What's good, but I still wished for a bit more variety in problems. On top of that, the stories only take about 2 hours. Then there are the If and Another story, both feeling practically like another chapter in the common root. With so light romance elements, I personally find it unsatisfying. Or could the new allies save the day? Honestly, I think this new childhood friend no one could remember was a bit creepy. I mean, he could have basically made this all up and stalk Yunoha. He was just way ahead in his love development and Yunoha could barely catch up, what made it feel awkward to me. Izumi's older brother was, as you would expect, calm and cold, and you help him to open up a bit, but again it was so light and short that I couldn't really connect to his character. And so I didn't even try to romance Kintaro's little brother, because it might be sweet once he's grown up, but then he's just a little Kintaro, and then I can just date Kintaro. The only fun addition of the FD is that you now can touch the CGs and make the guys say 3 additional lines. Cute, but on the other hand, also kind of useless. So overall, the FD is too short and felt too much like the common root of the original game for me. Too much slice of life stories of random customers and too much time spent with other characters except the LI. So if you don't already have the Switch version where the FD is included, I don't think you should spend extra money on the FD. Unless you want more of the common root or want to support my channel by buying either of the games via the links in the description. But setting the disappointing FD aside, I think Yunohana Spring is one of the cutest and most relaxed otome games I've ever played. That makes you feel so much at ease and forget the worries of your own life as if you were a customer of a sweet Japanese inn yourself.